Welcome back, everybody. There we see Vladimir Kramnik getting ready for his game against Hikaru Nakamura. Nakamura, in the current Blitz live rating list, he's toe-to-toe with Magnus Carlsen. I believe by winning his last game with Carlsen only drawing, Magnus might have fallen back to the number 2 spot, and Hikaru Nakamura is back in number 1 in the rating list. Vladimir Kramnik, on the other hand, lost 95 points, believe it or not, in
95 in Paris
Blitz event.
And if you are already talking about the Rapid, there's a mysterious player that we don't know. He is on number 6 place, Kuro. Do you know him?
Yeah, I believe he makes a living playing Blitz events in the Ukraine, and he's probably very good at it, but yeah, we won't see him in the Grand Chess Tour anytime soon. And in the game, we see Hikaru Nakamura going with the fashionable London system, which even Vladimir Kramnik himself has employed it recently. We used to laugh at this in the old days as just a lazy way to avoid theory, but a lot of the world top players have started employing it, so it might be time to start taking it a little more seriously. Vladimir Kramnik played this very move order himself against Niels Grandelius in Norway chess, but there Grandelius decided not to get his bishop out. And I like the setup Kramnik chooses better, developing his bishop, knight f3, e6. I never understood why this is supposed to be problematic for black, but I'm very curious what Hikaru has up his sleeve here. Bishop to d6, all the black pieces look very harmonious. You've stopped one of the big ideas, which is to go knight e5 instantly. I'm actually a little surprised that he did go knight f3 instantly and not to move like queen a4. But let's see how this proceeds.
Now h3 is on the board. Bishop takes f3, giving up the pair of bishops. Now white has the pair of bishops, but the position is very close, so this is not the kind of position where black is afraid of giving up his bishop.
Yeah, also the pair of bishops can be neutralized by
taking one of them. Right now, by taking on f4, and it has happened. So we see a bishop and a knight fighting against 2 knights, queen e7, protecting the c5 pawn, and I believe that black is doing fine.
Yeah, it's a standard position. Knight f3 will probably be played to stop e5. And for Kramnik, one big decision is going to be, does he want to change the structure by going cd, ed, when you would get a structure you normally get out of other openings, where white tries to build a kingside attack while black tries to play on the queen side. But Kramnik hasn't made that choice yet, so he has some flexibility. Plays h6, trying to not reveal his hand, because white lacks useful pawn breaks here. You can't get in e4, you can't get in c4, all that would only lead to weaknesses, so Hikaru is reduced to playing some waiting moves, preparing for the c takes d4. Maybe Kramnik is gonna keep ignoring that, play something like rook b8, intending b5 or a6, b5. Very curious how he approaches this position. Another plan that comes to mind is rook e8 followed by e5, but then I'd be concerned about bishop b5 pinning the knight. So I like a6.
He goes for a6 with the same idea that you mentioned. He wants to push b5, expand on the queen side. And it's not so clear to see how white can open the position. He would love to have an open e5 for his rook, but this is not the case. Black is not going to play c takes d4.
Yeah, Kramnik also plays a6 to just stop bishop b5, exchanging this knight, and he can follow up if he wants to equalize with rook to e8 followed by e5. Hikaru is going to take a long hard look at knight to e5 here, but in general this exchange should not be anything that troubles black unduly. Still, I can't see anything better. There is no natural plan that comes to mind. a4 is always consideration to stop b5 here, but playing on the queen side where you're weaker potentially also carries some risk for white. So I'd expect him to put his knight on e5 and
goes for e4. He wants to open the position right away. He is not afraid of having an isolated pawn on d4. Black might capture on both e4 and d4, leaving white with this isolated pawn unless he wants to take the knight on c6.
Yeah, you're not getting the isolated pawn. He's going to take on e4 to avoid bishop c6, then rook takes or queen takes, and after c takes d4, knight takes d4.
A normal pawn structure, but no bishop.
Well, this is basically just admitting by Hikaru that the opening he didn't get anything and he wants to simplify into what I consider an equal position. Knight takes d4. One big question is, can you go rook takes d4 or is e5 a problem? But e5 runs into queen e3.
Rook takes d4 immediately because the e7 queen will be hanging, so there's no way to win material here for black. But e5 is still on the board, so Kramnik says, okay, I'm not winning the rook, but still I like my pawn on e5.
Yeah, it's just an equal position. Heavy pieces no weaknesses. Black has this 4 versus 3 majority on the king side. Nakamura has the 3 versus 2 on the queen side. The question is going to be after queen e3, which I expect to happen. Hikaru's thinking here because he's also considering rook to e4 or queen to e4. But I believe queen e3 looks most natural. If black wants to start exchanging on the d file, something like this. But here all of a sudden you have to worry about cd4 targeting the e5 pawn. Or if he says, let's keep all the pieces on the board. It's queen e4, not queen e3. That's
to target the b7 pawn, I believe. And also there can be back rank problems with the h7 square guarded.
Yeah, the reason it surprised me is that it's inviting f5 with tempo as Kramnik played. Hikaru goes queen d5 check, that's his point. King somewhere, probably h8. And he might consider queen d6 or queen to d7 here. Because in general, this queenside majority is more useful without the queens on the board, because then you can build a passed pawn.
King h7 is on the board, and rook e1, Nakamura has improved the last piece that was undeveloped, pinning the e5 pawn, but after rook e8, I believe he will go rook a e8. The pawn will be protected on e5, and how can you improve this position for white?
Yeah, as I said, I'd consider exchanging the queens with queen d6 or queen to d7, because in the middle game, if black manages to get queen f6, e4, f4, get these pawns rolling, you gotta be a little careful. So I'd try to get rid of the queens here. And there he goes, queen to d7.
Exactly, he's following your plan. Black, I believe, shouldn't capture on d7 because that would give up the 7th rank after rook takes d7. That's an unpleasant position. You know that the rooks are very good on the 7th and on the 2nd rank, so that's not something you want to allow unless you can exchange that rook.
Rook f7 looks normal to recapture with this rook here, then the white rook goes somewhere, you go rook e6, let's say, and you just get an equal rook endgame. Let's see if Kramnik comes up with anything better. He can consider moving his queen somewhere. Let's say queen g5, which would be logical strategically, but it feels risky here because b7 is on pre, so I don't know, rook d6 or rook d5. These pawns seem to become a little vulnerable.
I think Kramnik's style is more a rook f7 move. Rook f6 he played.
Yeah, similar idea. He doesn't want to
b6 sometimes.
Well, he doesn't want to allow takes followed by a rook to d6, so he wants to control both the 6th and the 7th rank with his rooks in case the queens get exchanged. It's an equal position. Rook d5 played by Hikaru. Once again, trying to extract the maximum to exchange queens on his terms. If queen d7, rook d7, he will get his rook on the 7th. Now he's threatening to take and take on e5. Kramnik could go rook e6, or he goes e4, expanding. Also quite logical, potentially signaling to create a passed pawn. If black can manage to avoid immediate concessions here, he is still perfectly fine. Rook takes f5, doesn't work because it's dropping the queen. I can't see anything better for Nakamura than accepting an equal sort of endgame.
Indeed, he has exchanged on e7 and pushed his c4. He's going for his queenside pawn majority, trying to create a passed pawn with b4, c5, but it's still not going to be a passed pawn. You need to push a4, b5. Couple of moves to create a passed pawn, and f4 is already on the board, so e3 will be eventually a move that comes next move probably. c5, and Kramnik doubles his rooks on the e5, preparing for e3.
Yeah, it's just equal. Nothing dramatic
Let's
happens.
push
The
g5
game should
as well.
end peacefully.
Yeah, this should lead to a draw. If somebody is better, then I believe it could be black. a4, king g6, he's activating his king. Of course, in the endgames, it's very important to bring your king. It should be an active piece. h5, preparing g4. And after b5, 8 takes, I believe he's going for g4. g4 is on the board. Rook c1, preparing c6, so that could be a dangerous passed pawn, but still with rook c7 you can block it.
Both sides have their trumps. In a normal game, this should just lead to simplifications. Black has to worry about the passed c-pawn. White has to worry about keeping things in order on the king side. Therefore, yeah, I'd be quite surprised if this led to a decisive result, even though I'm not sure I am on board with Kramnik's plan of pushing all these pawns. Looked easier to just go e3, create a passed pawn earlier. He doesn't now, but I'm not sure why he needed all these all these moves on the king side first. You don't want to allow e2 followed by f3, I would guess, so I'm expecting Hikaru to take on e3 once. When if the pawn recaptures, you can just put your king on e2, block it. After, let's say, rook f6, go rook f1. Still, the position is balanced. Anything but a draw would be a big surprise. Then again, they're both down to about 1 minute. Things can still happen. Hikaru's thinking here.
Do you want to stick to this rook endgame, or shall we see Magnus Carlsen's position, who seems to be a pawn down and suffering against Veselin Topalov?
All right, let's go there. We will keep you posted should anything dramatic happen here, but for now it seems like it's going to end in a draw. Game that has already ended in draws, the game between Vishy Anand and Anish Giri.
Where Anish Giri had an exchange up, so it's surprising that he didn't manage to win that position.
Magnus Carlsen just took the exchange. He's winning against Veselin Topalov.
What happened? He was just a pawn down. What were the last moves? Oh, he didn't see knight e2 fork?
I don't know, but I believe he could be in trouble anyway with this h-pawn running up the board, and now it seems like pretty much game over. Rook b7,
Wow.
rook e7, the a-pawn is not
Sudden
quite fast enough.
turn of events here, and Veselin Topalov is just a rook down after knight d3, knight takes.
No, e7 is
Oh,
on priest,
I'm
so he has
blundering
to...
my rook on e7, but after queen f6 everything is protected, and
Yeah, rook a7 is coming, picking up the a6 pawn.
this should be
So
a
this is
victory
game
for
over.
Magnus Carlsen.
Doesn't even bother going after the a6 pawn. He pushes his own h-pawn, which is just as good. h3, queen c3, and h2. This is over.
Another game that seems to be very exciting, at least it's changing all the time, is between So and Caruana. It was advantage for Caruana, then advantage for white, and then I don't know. It's
Topalov
just very
resigns, he can't
complicated.
avoid the queening of the pawn. We see
Yeah,
Magnus putting the pawn...
Magnus Carlsen has just won his second Blitz game and still, no, sorry, he won now and drew the previous one, but he is still in the lead with 12.5 points out of, no, now he will have how many? 13.5 out of 20.
Yeah, in the Kramnik-Nakamura game, they followed the script that was to be expected. Both sides created a pass pawn, and the thing is, they are very big favorites to get exchange for one another with a handshake. Rook takes e2 is followed by rook takes c6, and we're left with 1 versus 1 pawn. Kramnik just keeps waiting for Hikaru to take on e2. Hikaru does not want to agree to the draw yet. He's maneuvering a bit and is trying to actually... Is he succeeding to actually win the g-pawn? Looks like he might succeed. The problem for him is, even if he takes it, let's say, rook takes c6, rook c6.
This is still a
king
draw.
e2.
The blocking is where it has to be, so this is a draw on Rook and game. They agreed to a draw. Shall we quickly switch to So Caruana? That is still going on. Oh, but now it's already a piece up for Wesley So.
Yeah, Wesley So and Caruana, they both participated in this Ultimate Blitz Challenge versus Garry Kasparov in St. Louis, where Caruana did not have the best of showing, while Wesley So, I believe, was the only one who won the individual encounter against Garry Kasparov. So he can play Blitz, but he suffered in the Paris part. But here he looks fully engaged. It's easier to look engaged when you have an extra knight.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that our audience, there are plenty of Caruana fans in the audience because they were disappointed about seeing the piece down for Fabiano.
I think they just like his shirt. It has a bit of a Whereas Waldo flavor, even though the colors are wrong. I quite like it. We had a chat the other day with his manager, Lawrence Trent, that we need to send Fabi clothes shopping. He needs some new shirts, and it looks like they delivered instantly.
He also seems to go to the gym more often nowadays.
Oh, he's ripped. It's 50 kilos of pure muscle.
What's happening there on the board? Shall we update it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
a technical
going
task
to be
for
over.
Wesley So, but it shouldn't be very difficult.
In Blitz, you can still blunder, so that's why we are looking at the game. It's a piece up, should be an easy win, but they are down to seconds. Rook e1 played by Fabiano Caruana. Well, what can you blunder here? Let's try to look for a blunder.
No,
No,
Caruana's
everything is
trying to get
protected.
to the last remaining white pawn, but there is no real chance. Unless some knight sacrifice happens, this should just be over. King e4, So is offering the f2 pawn because he's spotted that Rook
Two,
c6
one,
would pick up the bishop.
Yeah, Fabiano Caruana has just made a move with 1 second on the clock. The pawn has been taken.
He managed to get rid of that pawn.
Yep.
If he is not losing his bishop, then all of a sudden Wesley has his work cut out for him again. Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate for Wesley. So I believe it's
Fabiano Caruana lost on
That helps.
time. That's a pity because he might have survived if Wesley So needs to win this position without pawns.
Should still be a win. The two knights are a big attacking force, but so yeah, no perfect execution there. But we can see a bit of Caruana's inexperience playing Blitz, because normally with these 2 seconds, you're not going to see Hikaru Nakamura lose on time with increment. But he did forget about the clock. He's more of a let's try to make the best move guy, and sometimes that can lead to forgetting the clock.
We are encouraging our audience to stay here with us because we would like to ask for your opinion on the event. So I will go and grab a microphone and walk down to our dear audience. Please stay here with us. Where can I go? Because, yeah, sure. How old are you and what's your chess level?
Okay, so I'm Victor. I'm 30 years old. My chess level is, well, amateur, around 1800s or something like that. Yeah.
Do you enjoy the event here? Are you from Leuven or you traveled here to see the event?
Well, I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I've been living in Leuven for years now. I'm enjoying the event a lot right now. I also enjoy seeing you and Jan for the first time. I've been a member of Chess24 for a long time and very much enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Who's your favorite player? Who are you rooting for?
Well, my favorite player is actually Fabiano Caruana. I'm not sure if he has a very good chance in the Blitz portion, but I'm still rooting for him.
Have you had the chance to take a photo with him or a signature from him?
No, not yet, but I might try my chances later. Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the event, and I will move on to this young boy. Can I ask for your name and how old are you?
Speaks French.
French. Your name?
Hugo.
Hugo. Age? Number?
11 ans.
11 years old. Who's your favorite player? Can you translate that question?
Quel est ton joueur favorisé en fait? Qu'est-ce que tu préfères comme joueur? Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus Carlsen. With French pronunciation, it sounds completely different. Thank you so much. I would like to ask you as well, I'll move here, your name, age, when did you start learning chess, how is your chess, and how do you like it here in Leuven?
Well, it's the first time in Leuven here for me. I started playing chess 12 years old, so now I'm about 1750 or something ELO or 1800 maximum, but I enjoy chess all my life. So I enjoy watching chess, but I don't have time a lot to play, so I took the time to come with him to see some big names.
You also root for Magnus Carlsen, or you have a different player favorite?
My generation was Kramnik, Anand, but I'm still rooting for Anand because I hope he's doing well next, within maybe tomorrow, still has to play, so he's still a good rapid player, good blitz player, so I hope he does his best.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the event. I will move on towards this gentleman. Hello, what's your name and age? Have you traveled here or are you from Leuven?
Yeah, I'm Jean-Michel, I'm 45, traveled from Luxembourg. Yesterday I came and slept here and I leave tonight.
So you traveled here just to see the event of your next move Grand Chess Tour?
Yes, that's the first time I come for a live event. Usually I watch on streaming, which is very nice to have your comments as well. But to see them, it's something awesome. They are very kind. Sometimes when they lose, they are not that kind, but I can understand that very much.
Is it the first time that you visit such a strong event with all the best players of the world participating?
Yeah, I was very excited. Was already willing to go to Paris last weekend, but between Anand and Laurent Fressinet, I thought it better to come here instead. But I hope that this will take place again next year, particularly that it's free, so it will bring some people that are not so much fond of chess maybe to come just by curiosity and maybe start to be liking the game.
Thank you so much. And last question, who is your favorite player here?
Yeah, I like very much Veselin Topalov. I think he deserves more than his current rating. And of course, Magnus is over, I believe, the other ones. But he's also, what I like in Magnus is that he's kind of putting some dust away from the game. And obviously, I'm here also to see Gary when he will be there. And I hope there will be some picture session with him. He is great. I saw him also doing those Blitz games against those Caruana, Nakamura, and so when they won the American Championship. So he will unfortunately not play any Blitz today, but already to see him and have a chance to have a picture with him, that would be great.
I hope that you will get the picture with Gary, maybe Veselin as well, and Magnus Carlsen, and enjoy the rest of the event. Hi, can I ask you a few questions? Your names and what's your chess level? When did you learn playing chess?
My name is Harold. Actually, I live in Belgium and I'm a Dutchman. I learned chess around the 80s from my father, and now play a lot of on chess.com or ICC. Well, my level is around 1800, 1900, but depends. You can go fast and you can go low fast. So.
Are you from Leuven? You said you live in Belgium, but do you live in this town or you traveled here to see the event?
I traveled here. It's 45 minutes drive. Is from Houthalen, Helchteren in Limburg in Belgium.
Is it the first day you come, or you've been here the rest of the days as well?
This is my third day, so.
So you will be here for all the 4 days of the event?
Yeah, I love to be here tomorrow, but I have to work tomorrow, so it's not possible.
That's a pity, but it's great that you've been here for 3 days. Who's your favorite player? Who do you root for?
I root for Anand and for Topalov.
Have you had a chance to take a picture with them or ask for a signature?
Yes, it's on my phone.
That's great. And I'll ask you the same question. So you two must be friends, are you?
Voor mij beter Russisch spreken.
Russian. Oh my Russian is very bad. I understand. So if you speak to me in Russian, I think I will understand you.
Maybe I can translate.
All right. Who's your favorite player among the participants?
Who's your favorite speler?
Ik denk Carlsen.
Carlsen.
Onze land, ja.
Kramnik and Carlsen. Did you also travel here to see the event, or you are from Leuven?
We hebben ook gereisd naar Leuven.
Ja, samen, ja.
We came together. We drove together here. So.
That's very nice. So enjoy the rest of the event, and I hope that your favorite players will do very well today.
Thank you very much.
I will see how much time we have till the next round begins. Do we still have some time?
Probably a few minutes. That's okay. That's okay.
Hi. Can you tell me your name, please?
Matthias.
Matthias. How old are you, Matthias?
7.
7. Wow. Do you know how to play chess?
Yeah.
And this is your chess book, as far as I can see.
Got a signature from Magnus Carlsen for inspiration, let's say. And Mr. Kramnik also signed his chess book.
Wow, that's a very valuable chess book. I'm sure that you will improve a lot having the signature of world champion Magnus Carlsen and former world champion Vladimir Kramnik in your workbook. Who's your favorite player?
Carlsen.
Thank you so much for the answers and enjoy the event here in Leuven.